of gratitude to Radhanath Maharaj. तो इस व्यास पूजा के राधानाथ महाराज के भक्ति कराय Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Charne Nirvisesha Srimati Pustijarasta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Giradhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this is the most wonderful day for anyone who's come in contact with Radhanath Maharaj, because this day commemorates the day in which he appeared in this world. And for us that know him and love him, it can't be a sweeter day. Sometimes I wonder who the heck I am anyway. I'm supposed to be a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, initiated by Srila Prabhupada. Yet I only had brief moments of association with him. I never really asked him a question, or I never really answered anything. He never spoke to me directly. So I think, well, that's alright, because Srila Prabhupada gave us Bhaktipad. A lot of association with Bhaktipad at New Vrindavan. So when I came to New Vrindavan in 1974, I didn't really get to see that much of Srila Bhaktipad either, because at that time we were living in the Brahmachari ashram up the hill, about a 2-mile walk from where Bhaktipad was living, and Bhaktipad would only come up once a week for darshan. So then, I was thinking, well, at least I could say I'm really a disciple of Srila Bhaktipad, because I did everything Prabhupada wanted me to do under Bhaktipad's instructions. But actually, when I really get down to the heart of why I'm a devotee to this day, it's because of my association with Radhanath Swami. He's the one that first got me to dance in kirtan. He's the one that first spoke the absolute truth to me, preaching to me. Up at the Brahmachari ashram when I was still deciding whether I wanted to stay at New Vrindavan or not. He's the first one that taught me how to worship Radha and Krishna, how to sing for the Lord, how to cook for the Lord. Basically, he was my bhakta leader and spiritual master. To this day, I feel tremendously indebted for everything he shared with me, without expecting anything from me, but treating me like I had some worth. That's really the sign of a humble person, is that he treats everybody as if they have some worth. And I know I was pretty useless. But Maharaj always treated me kindly, even when he would chastise me, I would feel that this was coming from love. So we spent much time together. In the first year of my Krishna consciousness, we would cook feasts together for the deities. Him and I would be the only ones staying up at the Brahmachari ashram all day Sunday. We would cook together. I would be basically cutting vegetables and washing pots while he directed the whole cooking, 20, 30 preps for the Lord in a matter of 2 or 3 hours. And his example of austerity, how he would work for the pleasure of the deities, was always a great source of inspiration for me. On Saturday night, Maharaj would stay up all night long cooking preparations that could be prepared a day early, sandash, condensed milk, like this, just to make a wonderful feast for the deities on Sunday. So we would spend all morning cooking the feast, and then it was time for offering. So he would run upstairs and make the offering to the deities. And then it was time for the artik. He would go onto the altar and do the artik while I was in the kitchen cleaning. Then after that, he would have to put the deities to rest. Then it was about half an hour time between the time when the feast was finally transferred to the time when he had to bathe again and go back onto the altar. At that time he was sometimes the head cook and head pujari all by himself in Vrindavan. So we would take prasadam together. In those days, just him and I up in Vrindavan in the middle of winter. Nothing else was around. Nobody else was around. And as we were taking prasadam, that was our bhakti class. He would tell me stories about Krishna. Never had a formal training, but just being with him as much as I had the fortune of being. I survived that first year of Krishna consciousness. So, actually, Radhanath Swami, I'm eternally indebted to, and to this day, I just pray that I can continue to offer a little service whenever you ask. Chakshuhulmitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave. I offer my respectful obeisances to His Holiness Radhanath Swami on his appearance today's occasion that we are celebrating, because he is also one of my gurus who is opening my eyes wider and wider, and by his inspiration as I am able to continue little service if I can on my own. But as you know that on my own I am unable to without the inspiration. Therefore, much of the glories and appreciation goes to His Holiness. As far as on my own I can say that Harava Abhaktasya Kuto Mahatkuna Manorathena Asite Tahavtoga. I am simply nothing. Prabhupada would always say, whenever we try to say something, I have done this or I have not done this. He says, you are nobody, you are nothing. It's a very good smashing for the illusion. But as a matter of fact, I can accept. I can give you assurance that I'm an exception. I really do, a lot of mistakes. At the same time, I do not tend to agree right away, because obstinate nature of mine, but experience teaches me. Otherwise, how could I have missed yesterday's program? That's also a fact. Regardless, his attachment carried me to come early in the morning, and appreciation and thanks goes to him. Srila Prabhupada, his mission and achievement are perfect because he has produced a moon, actually Bhaktipada. But we see several moons. Many are coming from Vrindavan, and Radhanath Swami is next to Bhaktipada. Bhaktipada would always give the example of the Supreme Person to be like a gem, like diamond who has many facets. So, Vrindavan moons have also several facets. You can see all these facets in their originality. I was also thinking that sometimes we may feel that Bhaktipada is hard like thunderbolt, but then how come he can train soft like rose Radhanath Swami? So it is all the grace of Guru and Gauranga that is showering, and Radhanath Swami is one of the gems that is worth putting our investment of the faith in him. I would certainly recommend all the devotees assembled here that Radhanath Swami deserves all the credit to carry out all these wonderful Sankirtan activities in India in his absence, and his work being praised for. Radhanath Swami, we can see in his character, developed all the good qualities of the devotees. And they are manifesting before us from time to time. So, I may not be able to tell you very penetratively, but I can assure you that Radhanath Swami is a very genuine shelter for spiritual life, and certainly anybody who keeps firm faith in him will certainly develop the qualitative spiritual progress. I thank you very much on this occasion of appearance. Please, we can celebrate every day as your appearance, whenever you are amongst us and in your absence, by simply following in your footsteps and following your instructions. All glories to Holiness.
The lotus feet of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, by whose grace we all are assembled here and able to celebrate his appearance day. We hear in the philosophy, we preach also, we read also, but unless we have some bona fide representative, bona fide guru, it's not possible to really realize that. So Maharaj, by his kindness, by his mercy, is training all the devotees, and I can say he is really very kind to someone who is not up to the standard like me. He has been kind to me all the time since I have ever, always he has been kind to me. I can narrate a small instance. In the beginning days of my this spiritual life, somehow, so many of you know that how I got initiated. and hardly I had any association with Srila Prabhupada or other devotees also. Somehow by the mercy of devotees I was going on, and then we went to New Vrindavan. But my heart was always feeling something empty, that I am not able to serve my Guru Maharaj. And when I see Radhanath Swami, I felt like opening up, telling what I feel. And I remember we were sitting in front of RBC temple, and I explained to Maharaj, this is what I feel, and kindly help me. And the same very day, I was serving in the palace. So after lunch prasadam, one devotee who was in charge of personal department, Ambarish Prabhu, he called, he said, it's Raktak here. So I picked up the phone, I said, I'm speaking. We need a cook. Said, I don't know cooking, whom should I call? He said, Bhaktipad's cook she is expected and she cannot do this more seva, so you can take her. Said, I do not know cooking, how can I do this? But I like to serve. He said, you can take training from Mataji and learn from her and cook for Bhakti-Pad. I thought little bit what to do. Then the urge was there that somehow I am getting this opportunity. I did not know that time how it's coming. I am still not able to realize Maharaj's mercy. At that time I was not able to realize that how suddenly this call has come that I can serve Bhakti-Pad as a cook, personal servant. So I accepted that offer also, to learn from Mataji the cooking, whatever Bhakti-Pad is. So I learned whatever I could and started serving, and I was very happy. I was very joyful all the time. And then Maharaj, I expressed that this is how happened, that the day I told you this thing, same day I was called and I am serving there. So he's always been kind to me, but somehow because of my arrogant nature or whatever position, I am not able to serve him up to his satisfaction. But I can say this thing that from my heart I am his servant, and I would like to do whatever he wants in the service of holy name. As he is always preaching the glories of the holy name, I don't find any qualification, but the only thing I can do, that I can be a servant or whatever he wants me to do, I can try, and I hope he will shower his mercy upon me always. All glories to His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj.
So in this conditioned stage, it's very difficult to understand Lord Krishna. So also is pure devotee. Unless one becomes pure devotee, you cannot understand the activities of a pure devotee. So in my conditioned stage, if at all I am trying to understand my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktipada and Lord Sri Krishna, that is by the pure vision which Radhanath Maharaj has given me. So in my spiritual life, I am trying to see through the eyes of Radhanath Swami Maharaj, because I know that because of my conditioned nature, I am not able to see everything and everyone as it is. But when I see through the eyes of Radhanath Maharaj, his humility, his surrender to the orders of the spiritual master, I get encouraged and I try myself to become fixed in spiritual life. So whatever we are doing, that is, everything is by the mercy of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Although I am doing so many mistakes, I am very much arrogant, very much independent, but still, out of His causeless mercy, He has engaged me in His service. I approached Him many times that Maharaj, I am very independent, please guide me. He says, you are doing very well, I am happy. But still, just to encourage me, I think he is using this word that I am happy. I know I am doing nothing. When I see my God brothers, I really know that I am doing nothing for Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And I appreciate his quality, that how he is serving his God brother, Srila Prabhupada. So, if I get that vision to associate with my all elevated God brothers and serve my God brothers and surrender to the order of my spiritual master, then my spiritual life will be successful. So, when I try to please Radhanath Maharaj, I first try to please all the God brothers, those who are pleasing Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So please forgive all my mistakes that I have done and kindly engage me in your service. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Namaste Bhakti Padaya Prabhupada Priyayate Leela Kshetra Parannama Sthapitamana Krishna. I am insincere throughout in my service, at least yearly once when we come before some celebration, I try to at least speak sincerely in glorification of Radhanath Swami. So, he's kind to invite me whenever there is a gathering of devotees anywhere in India. It's like when there is a spark and you pour oil over that, then it can burn. The spark becomes extinguished. So pouring oil is waste of simply the substance. So similarly, there is some fringe interest in devotion. So Maharaj kindly calls again and again wherever there is the satsang. He makes sure that I hang around so that to listen to long hours of kirtan and some purification so that some understanding can improve. Maharaj, as I see in Kurukshetra or elsewhere, he conquers the hearts of the devotees and non-devotees by his Vaishnava qualities. And in Kurukshetra we had a seminar in the university, and Maharaj spoke in English, and after that the chairman and others were giving remarks what they feel about Maharaj's lecture in Hindi. So Maharaj asked me, what are they saying? I said, I can't recollect. I'm like a blank cassette. So, because he is very, he is free from the modes of material nature, so every incident can go as a photographic memory into his heart. But I don't. So I try to remember what actually is the essential message of Maharaj
I have been attending and hearing it so many places. Is there that it is repeatedly mentioned, which may have gone into my memory? So as I thought about that, an important point was coming to my mind. He always emphasizes on the